Alright, so I said a minute ago that I was going to talk about these two cards, Double Summon and Ultimate Offering. Both of these cards are very good cards, just in general. Ultimate Offering has been seeing a ton of play this format. At the cost of 500 life points per monster, a player is allowed an extra normal summoner set. At least that's what this copy says. You can see on this copy. Let's see if I can get it to adjust there. It's kind of hard to see. This is a starter deck Yugi copy of Ultimate Offering, so this is pretty old. But what the newer copies say is that during your main phase or during your opponent's battle phase, you can pay 500 life points to normal summon a monster or set a monster. This is amazing, and here's why. I'll readjust my camera a little bit. Alright, so let's say I have this Ultimate Offering on the field, or I could do the same thing a lot of times with Double Summon. It doesn't cost life points, but I can only do it a limited number of times in a turn. That's okay. So I usually start off by summoning this girl right here, Madolche Magdalene. Her effect says that I can search out one Madolche monster from my deck. I'm going to go ahead and search out yet another copy of Madolche Magdalene. I will then activate the effect of that Ultimate Offering, and I'm going to pay 500 life points. It's going to let me normal summon another Madolche Magdalene right here. And now that I've got two, I'm going to go ahead and search the third one out from my deck. Now I overlay. And when I overlay, I'm going to go into Gaga Cowboy, even though normally I would actually go into Tiramisu here. This is, more for those people who are wondering about Gaga Cowboy. Alright, so I got my Gaga Cowboy here now, and now I'm going to activate my effect, and I'll detach one, and that's going to inflict 800 damage to you. Ah, burn. Okay, so I've just inflicted 800 damage to you. Now I'm going to pay 500 more life points, and I'm just going to keep summoning. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can just keep summoning monsters. Now, here's the great thing. Remember this one in my graveyard? Imagine if I had summoned Tiramisu. If I had summoned Tiramisu, then Tiramisu would have activated her effect. This is still in my graveyard now. So you detach it's in your graveyard, and when you do, you shuffle Madolche cards from your graveyard back to your deck. So this Madolche Magdalene that I just sent to my graveyard, instead of sending for 800, I just bounced cards back in the field. I'm going to shuffle it back in my deck. Okay, it's back there. And now I'm going to go ahead and summon that other Madolche Magdalene I have in hand, which means this one that I just shuffled back into my deck will come to my hand from my deck. Now I can normal summon that one. And look, I have another Tiramisu or any other rank 4 that I can think of, and you can do this all day long. I'm just kind of doing things quickly and easily because this is just kind of a how-to video. But yeah, it's just ridiculous how quickly you can pop out Xyz monsters, and very good Xyz monsters. And when you do this, you can, like, the advantage that Tiramisu can generate is just ridiculous. Like being able to bounce them back to the deck from the field. Like I mean, you just wreck people, and you can do the same thing with Double Summon. If it's like first turn, this is an awesome first turn. If you go Maggie, and she'll search out another Maggie to your hand, and then you activate the Double Summon, and just drop that other Maggie and search another one. Now you've got two 1400 attackers. If you have a Chateau, they're both 1900 attackers. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really a really good combo, and she really is the key to the deck. So, yeah. So as you can see, Madolche is a very good deck. It's very strong. There's a lot of searching going on, a lot of adding to your hand. You see, I run the double Trag in there, so you're not really all too surprised, probably, to go, to know that I dropped that Trag out, and I'll have Trag out typically at 3,000 is my low. And the reason for that is because I'm constantly adding bad cards back to my hand. So, if you have destroyed 3 of my Madolche monsters, I had 3 cards in my hand at the beginning of your turn, you destroy 3 of my Madolche monsters, all 3 of those get added back to my hand. I now have 6 cards in hand, so when I drop Trag, boom, he's at 5 grands for the 5 cards that are left in my hand, minus the Trag, that was the 6th. So yeah, he's awesome, but it's really easy also to, I'm just going to go through my side deck. I got my side deck right here for you. This is what I've been using for my local metagame, remember, and this is very important. side decking, you base your side deck on the metagame that you're playing in. If you're playing in a YCS, if you're playing in a big event, if you're playing in a regional, you need to be focusing on those important decks, like, those big decks. Guess what? There's still going to be Dino Rabbit. There's still going to be Chaos Dragon. You're still going to have Insectors there. Merlantians are going to be there. The Dark World is going to show its ugly head. You have to be expecting these things, and you need to be setting up your side deck appropriately. And my next video will probably be on side decking, actually. But for my side deck today, for Madolches, I run 2 Effect Veilers in my side deck. It's really, really easy to drop out Pudding Cess. It is. You can just drop Pudding Cess completely, and then you can drop Chevanier, and boom, there's 2 spots for Effect Veilers, and you don't have to worry about giving up any of your spells and traps, and you're only losing 2 Madolche monsters, and since you have the ability, and really, you're not really searching those ones all the time anyways. So, Effect Veiler, that's where I would put those. 1 copy of Madolche Pudding Cess. Yes, I still have the second one in my side deck. The reason for it is because sometimes you're playing against decks that they have a field spell or they have a continuous back row that you need to get rid of. Pudding Cess can be great for that. If she attacks a monster, she gets to pop a card on the field after the damage step. So that's really nice, but it's not always useful, so that's why I have one in the side deck. 1 copy of the Transmigration Prophecy. If you play Pudding Cess at 2 or even 3, Transmigration is awesome. Just for the fact you can grab literally any card out of your graveyard, out of your opponent's graveyard, throw it back in the deck. That means if your opponent's about to Monster Reborn some big baddie to just wreck you, to automatically game you, throw it back in their deck. They just wasted their Reborn and they can't get to their card. If you need, maybe all the cards that maybe I've already used up a key spell or key trap, I can throw those cards back in the deck. I can also target my Madolche monsters, or maybe my Max C's, or my Trags, throw those back into my deck, and get more use out of those. 1 copy of Swords of Revealing Light. This might sound kind of weird, but a lot of times I just need a little bit of stall, and Swords is still a wonderful stall card for me because while I do want to stall with my Swords of Revealing Light, a lot of times what I really want you to do is destroy it. If you MST my swords, if you heavy my swords, it means that's 1 less card that you have to destroy my ticket, my chateau, and those kind of things. 2 copies of Light Imprisoning Mirror, with the exception of the Xyz monsters and the Effect Veilers. I don't have any lights in here, so I'm not too concerned about it. And you better believe that if something like Christia comes down on me, I'm not going to be okay with that. So yeah, light Imprisoning Mirrors, just to stop light based decks. I follow that right up with my 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. Once again, just to chop the legs off of Dark Deck. Dark World doesn't need any advantages. 2 copies of Fossil Dyna. Once again, he's an Earth. He's a rank 4, or he's a level 4. He stops Xyz summoning, stops special summoning, can wipe. You can. I've had turns where I'll set him, face down defense against a wind-up player, and just watch him, go nuts, rats and sharks all over the place, and then they'll attack into my 1 Fossil Dyna, and literally everything they had is gone. And the best that they have left is they're like, oh well, I guess I get my rabbit back. 2 copies of DD Crow. I still find a lot of use for DD Crow in Madolches. This is really because I can't run Soul Drain. If the absolute best card that I've found to work against the Merlantian deck, and it works really good. It can do some damage to Dark World and stuff too. But is Soul Drain. And when you're playing Madolches, if you're going to play against Madolches, run Soul Drain against Madolches. All their effects are activated in the graveyard. They start a chain. Soul Drain negates every one of those Madolche effects. So you don't want to run Soul Drain, so I've got my DD Crows. Finally, 2 copies of Gozen Match. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Gozen Match, once again, awesome card. Allows you to... both players have to pick a type of monster they have in the field. Earth, light, dark, water, whatever. And then that's the only kind they can have out unless they get rid of all monsters on the field, and then they can pick a new one. So since I have Earths all over the place in this deck, a lot of times I'll drop Gozen Match if my opponent's playing more than one type of monster, just because, it limits their choices to about half their cards, as opposed to me, who still have, almost all my cards, with the exception of extra deck monsters. Alright, so that is it for Madolche. Next time that you see me, I am going to be coming to you with my Hazy Flame deck. I don't actually have the deck built yet, which is why I'm not doing it today. But the Hazy Flame will be incorporating a lot of the cards from the new Structure deck, as well as a bunch of the Hazy Flame level 6, rank 6 guys out there. I would love to hear your feedback. If there's a deck that you'd like to see on Crystal Cards, please let me know. Until then, my name is Brian Mead, and I hope that you've had fun learning about Madolches. I'll catch you next time.